Now, Zafin has always been in India, always been an integral part of the global strategy. In fact, the delivery center was first set up in 2006. So, it's almost 2 decades now. And so it goes a long way back. And what we continue to do is continuously evolve, and the capabilities have evolved since then. And what started off as probably doing some of the back end work and some parts of development has now evolved into us building almost two of our flagship products out of the offices here in Trivandrum and in Chennai as well. So, we now follow, across the globe. We have multiple locations, including in Canada and, in Europe and APAC. And we do a follow the sun approach, so that the time zones, there is an overlap in terms of time, there is agility, there is global collaboration, and all of that which drives into better products as well as customer enablement basically for our clients. Well, I would have to say, you mentioned it, talent, right? People. Like they say, data is the new oil. I would say for GCCs, people. It's the fundamental success factor. And I think we are very proud of the fact, the kind of capabilities that we drive out of India across both our locations. We have around 430 plus, technologists, right? 80% would be, either in the product side or in the customer enablement side, on the technology side. So we have engineers and we have cloud operations folks. We have, customer enablement folks. We have leaders who are in other areas, including in, in sustainability, in learning. So there is, it is not specific to one area that we drive innovation in. And the idea is that our technologists here are building products that helps banks modernize, cut down complexity, build better workflows, or ultimately create better business outcomes. And that is driven by some of our teams here working in close collaboration with their colleagues across the globe. So, the differentiator I would have to say is the people, and also the other thing that we have really bringing into Zafin globally is use of AI. So, our platform is AI powered. In fact, we had a recent tie-up with OpenAI. The partnership has done wonders for us in terms of we have every single employee in our organization from day one gets access to our enterprise chat GPT. And what that means is we are encouraging them to use it to improve their productivity, efficiencies, code, and we have other AI tools as well. So there's a lot of AI embedded, and plus, the people are the human in the loop and driving the value. So we have also people coming both from the technology side as well as from the domain side. So both of this together drives value for our clients globally, and very critical, right? Most of the people we hire right now do look at having a AI mindset, and we have a couple of different ways by which we try to attract and retain talent. I mean, I'm talking about other than obviously the compensation packages and the benefits that we offer. One is we are very particular about the kind of people who we hire. We like to call them elite talent because it is a high performance culture. But at the same time, once they come in, there is a lot of learning that we try to offer, which is again a differentiator. So we have something called the Zafin University, which is which allows them to get that knowledge training in our products, capabilities across our platform. So in the first 90 days, we try to get them into a learning path. And with AI, what has helped us is able to personalize it. Whether it is you're into your product or your customer enablement team, we're able to personalize that journey for them. So that is something that we are very proud of, and we are experimenting, I would have to say, because that is also continuously evolving. And we are also learning from things that didn't probably work before and what needs to change. And the third thing is, wellness is something that we take very seriously. Recently, we just inaugurated a new state-of-the-art 24,000 square feet space in Trivandrum, and where, to celebrate that, we actually had a wellness run. It was called Zafin Rise, and Rise is run for innovation, sustainability, and excellence, which are three values that we embed into our workspace. And why we wanted to do that is because we know that we work extended hours and sometimes across time zones, but we want to make sure that we are also healthy individuals. And how do we embed wellness into our daily lives? So we have initiatives like this, but we have also done something like as part of the employee assistance program, we have tied up with Your Dost. So that also takes care of the mental side of things, right? Which is equally important. And then we have a lot of ERG groups, employee resource groups, that globally, and these are not just specifically for India. This is global, that are sponsored by the leadership. So there's one called SAS and Rainbows, and for the LGBTQ plus community, and there is one specifically for women in our workforce. We have around 36% of our workforce is women, and that is called Zafin Leading Ladies, which I sponsor. So very proud of those kind of initiatives, because at the end of the day, we want our employees not just to build great products, but to really enjoy the work that they do and thrive and grow with us. Yeah. Great question. And I think, it has now become harder to plan for the future, because the speed at which technology is transforming, and even with all of the different things that are going around, I think we need to be agile, first of all. We can't no longer be just pure executors. We need to be the idea makers, the ones who think outside of the box, ones who innovate, and that needs to start really. We need to plan the next generation to think like that, to create like value-driven GCCs. Because at the end of the day, when we look at our organization, we are looking at outcomes. What is it? How can we help the client? How do we solve a problem for the client? How do we help? And for our client is a bank, but end is a customer. And you and me, we're all, we all bank, banking customers, right? So how does it help us to bank easier? And everything is becoming digital, right? What does that mean? How about cybersecurity? Things like that. And I think India can be at the forefront of innovating, just like we did UPI. I think that has been a game changer, with a lot of global, other nations trying to emulate what we have done and made it so seamless, the entire payment cycle. So we can. So that has proven that we could be path breakers and, and game changers, right? I would see in the fintech world, things are changing so much, so we need to plan it accordingly. And where we innovate, we have an AI-driven mindset, and because we just have to be AI natives, not just at the entry level, but even at the leadership level, to understand what kind of benefits it would bring. I think India is actually now at the cusp of all that transformation, right? And starting to drive transformation. Look at our biggest banks, the number of transactions we do. I don't think any other country or any other bank in the world, comes to that. So in terms of the volume, right? But also in terms of the kind of technologies we do. Most of the banks are also moved to a cloud environment, right? Like if you were to look at it a couple of years back, there would have been resistance there. They're talking about tech stacks and how agile they can be. I had a recent conversation with a major bank, and they talk like a technology company is talking. That's the way at which they are transforming, right? So I believe India is ready for that, and just to bring that sustainability angle into it, because I also think of that, is we can also be thinking India can be at the forefront of embedding sustainability into financial services, or because one is of course to be inclusive. There is a lot of diverse. So how do our products create that social impact that is required? How do we ensure that we look at green fintechs, right, and green operations? I think India could probably lead on those aspects, because these are things that come very natural to us and is also very important for us. So I would think India could be the leader in showing the world the way.